They learned in that tough loss of the pennant race in '95. Some of those young kids really come up and they could win the West. Do you think they have a chance?
Well, I think they have a chance. Last year, if Chuck Finley wouldn't have gone down, he had won 10 in a row, and people felt like if he would not have gone down, they could have caught, the Seattle Mariners. Now they've added Jack McDowell. If he's healthy and he does a good job for him, that's going to solidify the pitching staff. Cecil Fielder, to me, is the key for their offensive ball club. If he can stabilize the center, take a lot of the pressure off of the young guys, Tim Salmon, Edmonds, Garrett Anderson, Erstad, then I think they will have a chance of winning the American League West.
They slimmed Cecil. He lost about 30 pounds. He says, I'm just the old settler sitting back here in the clubhouse. Well, the squeegees are at work. Opening festivities in baseball coming up here from Anaheim shortly. Back to you, Gary.
All right, thanks a lot, Chris and Joe. As soon as that squeegee work is done there, we can get out there. We know that the first pitch is now set for almost an hour after the game was scheduled to begin. It'll be 11:17 Eastern time, but at the top of the hour, a special presentation. Disney owns ESPN. They own the Angels. We don't have Chris Berman out there for nothing. They have some very special ceremonies planned tonight, and they hope to have the old cowboy there, Gene Autry. So we'll take you out there at the top of the hour. In the meantime, here's what else has happened so far on this Wednesday. The Reds have given up 10 runs again. They actually had the lead in this game for a while, but the Padres beat them 10-9. Big night for Steve Finley, who drove in 4 runs. So the Padres have won 2 there. And not only that, Marge Schott fell in her driveway after last night's loss. She had hip surgery this afternoon. She'll need about 3 months to recover. The Cubs needed 15 games to finally win last year. It took them 2 this year. They beat up on the Marlins 10-3. Kevin Orie with a huge night for Chicago. 3 Pirates pitchers shut out Montreal 4-0. The game you just enjoyed. The Astros knock off San Francisco 7-6 to even their series at 1 apiece. Colorado is again holding down the Diamondbacks. This time it's John Thompson on the mound for them with the shutout. Dante Bichetta's knocked in a run after going hitless in his first at-bat last night. He's got 6 straight hits now. He's 6 for 7 in the middle of this game, and they're up 2-0 in the 6th inning. American League so far on this Wednesday night, our first doubleheader of the season. Last night, the Orioles got shut down by Tim Belcher and the Royals 4-1. Tonight, Cal Ripken hit a grand slam in the first. Lenny Webster hit 2 home runs. They walloped the Royals 10-1. Hammond's also homered in that game. Tampa Bay, the Devil Rays break into the win column just 2 games into their history. 11-8 over the Tigers. Toronto, Clemens the win, Myers the save. Jose Cruz Jr. knocked in all 3 runs. We'll take you out for the first pitch at Anaheim at 11:17. Right after this break, we'll give you some bonus coverage. Pedro Martinez is making his Red Sox debut against Tom Candiotti and the A's. Cleveland and Seattle just underway. A reminder, we had a triple header for you on Tuesday. We got a doubleheader for you tonight, and we got our regular Sunday night game. The season premiere coming up Sunday night from Bank One Ballpark is the Diamondbacks against San Francisco. Now, we told you we'd have some bonus coverage. We got that rain delay out at Anaheim. Red Sox and the A's. The big story here, Pedro Martinez with the richest contract in baseball. Sean McDonough has the call for you on the Red Sox network as Pedro faces Oakland.
And now a ball low and away. 2-0 on Ricky. Spent last season with San Diego. Part-time starter there for the Padres. Also spent part of the year with Anaheim. Traded to the Angels on August 13th.
4th time back for Henderson in an Oakland uniform. And in the pregame introductions, the guy that got the biggest ovation was Dennis Eckersley when introduced in front of this crowd. It was kind of a mixed bag for Henderson.
He swings and lofts one to left. Troy O'Leary is there to make the catch. Red Sox defense should be improved this year, particularly in the outfield with Darren Lewis, a Gold Glove winner in center field between Darren Bragg in right and Troy O'Leary, who has shifted over left field this year. John Valentin now comfortable at third with the brilliant Garcia Parra at short. Donnie Sadler, the rookie with outstanding range at second. Mo Vaughn, more agile around the bag at first, having dropped some weight. And Scott Hatterberg is going to platoon behind the plate with Jason Varitek, who had a very impressive spring training to earn the platoon spot behind the plate. Dave Magadan, the veteran third baseman, took a fastball just outside. Magadan has always been a good contact hitter, not blessed with a tremendous amount of power. He fisted one back to the screen, even the count at 1 ball and 1 strike.
Kind of a surprise start tonight, too, for Magadan. Mike Blowers will be pretty much the everyday third baseman, but with Martinez on the mound, a lot of left-handers put in the lineup by Art Howe.
They talk about how you have to get the pitchers early. Sometimes they get tougher as they go along. That's been true of some great pitchers over the years. It's not true of Pedro Martinez. He gave up 1 run in a first inning last year in 31 starts, and it was an unearned run. Off-speed pitch missed outside. 3 balls and a strike on Magadan.
And it may take him a while to settle into this game tonight. His first game with a new ball club, opening day jitters. First time in the new league, the American League.
And fastball in for a strike. Magadan checked the swing. The pitch had the plate. 3-2 the count. Magadan had a terrific spring at 479. That was second among all major leaguers behind Mo Vaughn. Magadan beginning his 13th year in the majors tonight. His second year with the A's, and he's out on a called third strike on the inside corner.
All right, we're going to bounce you around while we wait for the rain delay in Anaheim. They're setting up the pregame ceremonies. Top of the hour, we'll take you out there for that. The first night at the new Edison Field reconfigured as the Yankees are in town. In the meantime, you'll see a little bit of Pedro Martinez, and now you're going to see something pretty interesting. Jarrett Wright against Ken Griffey Jr. coming up shortly. Charlie Steiner and Harold Reynolds have the call from the Kingdome.
Junior last night with a 404-foot upper deck home run down the right field line. Under the knees for a ball.
Charlie, it'll be interesting to see how Jarrett Wright tries to approach him. Last night, Charles Nagy trying to bust Griffey in, actually hit him his first at bat. Then he got the 2-0 pitch that he hit the home run on. And they also pulled a little shift. Omar Vizquel playing right up the middle, a little Ted Williams shift on him. So talking with Junior today, I said, what about the shift? And he said, I was thinking about the shift. I'm not hitting the ball on the ground.
Around the cage. Said, I'm not hitting on the ground. How many guys can you put into the bleachers? Outside for a ball. But when we talk about expansion and the dilution of pitching, everybody points to Junior and Mark McGwire as those who might finally break the 61 home run mark set by Roger Maris in 1961. Swung on and missed. It's 2 balls and a strike.
You know, Junior gets off to a fast start every April. The graphic just showing us right there. He's hit 13 home runs last year, set a major league record. There's a fastball tailing away from him. That's the movement that Jarrett Wright has picked up this spring. Last year, that would have been a straight fastball. Right there, a little more movement tailing away from the hitter.
2 balls and a strike to Ken Griffey Jr. asking for time and getting it from home plate umpire Rocky Rowe.
What I was going to say, Charlie, is Junior gets off to such a fast start every season. I think it's because of his off season. He doesn't work out like a lot of these other players do.
He does not.
He does not. He's always fresh and ready to go. I think that speaks for him. He comes strictly old school. I've been to spring training with him. He's never picked up a bat. First day, he starts hitting them out of the ballpark. Well, that's the natural.
And the natural pops it up to Omar Vizquel. 2 gone.
Vizquel right there, always thinking, looking to see if Griffey was running down the line. He was thinking about dropping that ball.
He took his eye off the ball momentarily. And now that brings up David Segui. Segui hit .307 last year in Montreal, and he was the focus of the offense for the Expos. He is happily lost in the middle of this Mariner lineup with Jay Buhner hitting behind him.
Well, that's a scary thought when your best hitter hit .307 and 21 home runs and you lose him.
Well, even more bizarre is the Indians' acquisition of Dave Burba. Burba slated to be the opening day pitcher for the Cincinnati Reds, and on the day before, he's traded. Wow. Can't ever remember the opening day pitcher traded the day before opening day.
Charlie, you're going to be my opener. Oh, I just traded you.
I got some good news and some bad news. 1 ball, no strikes to Segui. Bounced down the first baseline, and it is called foul by home plate umpire Rocky Rowe.
And the ever animated Durwood Merrill down there at first base, getting his hands up quickly, calling that foul also. Rocky, I'll make the call.
But actually, any ball prior to the base is the home plate umpire.
You're absolutely right. You got the system down. You ever umpire?
No.
Never have?
Well, a little softball.
No Little League or nothing like that? Well, you don't know the sports centers.
I never had time. 1 ball, 1 strike, and 2 outs. It's Jarrett Wright here in the home half of the first, facing David Segui.
Umpiring's not as easy as most people think. You know, I used to try when I was younger, go down to Little League Park and you stand behind the pitcher. Remember those days?
Oh, yeah.
Calling from behind the pitcher.
That's slapped down the left field line. It's going to stay fair. Yes, it will.
Oh, and
That's going to be a double, a ground rule double, and Joey Cora is going to have to stay at third base.
Boy, it cost him a run right there. Nice piece of hitting by Segui. That is the disadvantage of playing on AstroTurf right there. If you're playing on an outdoor natural grass, that ball's going to hit the track and bounce off that wall and stay in. But look at the great piece of hitting. Segui hit a double down the left field line last night. Tonight, staying with that ball also and driving it. Now remember, we saw Jarrett Wright throw that same pitch to Griffey, tailing away from the left-hander. Segui staying on at that time and driving at the left field. You learn from watching other hitters.
And now here's Jay Buhner, 2 for 3 and 3 RBIs last night, a swing and a miss.
That one had some hair on it.
Buhner, just one of 21 men to hit 100 RBIs or more and hit less than 250, as he did last year. 40 home runs, 109 RBIs, and a 243 batting average. They call him the Bone. 1 ball, 1 strike. Slap foul and out of play. It's 1-2.
You know, Jay changed his approach a little bit this year. He said, I quit being stubborn. I'm going to start going to right field a little bit more, because he has got the power, as we saw last night, an opposite field home run, to hit the ball out of any part in the ballpark. His average dipped down last year in the 240s because he didn't use the whole field.
1 ball, 2 strikes, and 2 outs. Up high, 2-2. The new batting coach here in Seattle is Jesse Barfield, and what he preaches is situational hitting. Adjust your stroke to various situations and various pitches, as we saw Segui do. And Jay Buhner goes down swinging, and the Mariners leave 2. And now it's Jamie Moyer's turn as we head to the top half of the 2nd inning.
Little bonus coverage for you there from the Kingdome. So it's 0-0. We also showed you Pedro Martinez against the Oakland A's. But the game you're going to see just moments from now, we'll give you the opening ceremonies, as a matter of fact. They're drying things out at the new reconfigured Edison International Field. We'll take you out to that shortly for the Yanks and Angels.
Ooh, a computer with the 300 megahertz Intel Pentium 2 processor. You know it's fast, and you thought it was priced just out of your reach. Until now. The $19.99 PC with the 300 megahertz Intel Pentium 2 processor from Gateway. Complete with 32 megs of RAM, 17-inch monitor, AGP graphics, and a whole lot more. Call us at 1-800-GATEWAY, and we'll build one for you.
There is a war going on, and the battlefield is your yard. To win this war, you'll need the most powerful equipment. You'll need the very best supplies. You'll need guaranteed low prices. Who has the power to bail out the troops? The Home Depot.
Guys like me don't get much respect. I mean, I hit big, but there's no deodorant commercial. I make huge plays. I'm not even in a cereal box. But man, I could care less.
Triple Play 99. You've never seen baseball like this.
Who needs cereal?
Whoa. EA Sports. It's in the game.
Welcome back to Wednesday Night Baseball here on ESPN. Gary Miller with you. Normally we'd be in the second game of our doubleheader. We got a rain delay of all things out at Anaheim. We'll get you there shortly. In the meantime, let's catch you up on everything that's happened so far on this second night of the baseball season. Royals and Orioles. Remember last night, KC shocked Mike Pettitte and the Orioles with a 4-1 win. Well, Cal Ripken gets 4 runs on 1 swing of the bat, the 8th grand slam of his career. Brendan Rush was out of there in a hurry as the Orioles got 5 on him in the first. Jeffrey Hammonds goes the other way. And Lenny Webster would make it back-to-back, Jack. At that point, it was 7-1 after this Webster homer. Lenny would hit another one on the night, and the Orioles romp 10-1 in this game. So the Royals still have not started 2-0 since the 70s. Scott Erickson went the distance, a 4-hitter with 5 strikeouts. It is win number 100 even on his career, and the Orioles have an even 1-1 record. The Devil Rays, in just 2 games into their history, have their first win. Fred McGriff knocked in 4 runs. Rolando Araujo picks up the first Devil Ray win in his Major League debut. Clemens the victory. He started 11-0 last year. He's 1-0 so far this year. Randy Myers with a shaky save in his Blue Jay debut. And Boston and Oakland, that's Pedro Martinez against Tom Candiotti. Cleveland, Seattle, we showed you that moments ago. We were there, and now, after a shutout inning from Jared Wright, that's Manny Ramirez teeing off on Jamie Moyer. So a night ago, there were 19 runs scored in a 10-9 Cleveland victory. That's a solo shot in the bottom of the first. We'll keep you up to date on that. We're also getting ready to take you out for opening ceremonies in Anaheim between the Yankees and Angels, but until they get ready for that, bonus coverage. Pedro Martinez, the highest paid player in baseball, is taking on Oakland. We rejoin Sean McDonough out in California.
Over the last 7 opening days for Boston, dating back to 1992 when Ellis Burks started in center field. For the 4th straight year on opening day, the Red Sox have had a different center fielder every year since. Billy Hatcher in 93, Otis Nixon in 94, Lee Tinsley in 95, Wayne Hosey in 96, Shane Mack last year, and now Darren Lewis.
And Shane Mack this year is on the other side. He's on the Oakland A's ball club.
Not in the starting lineup tonight. Lewis fouls it to the screen against his teammate a year ago, Tom Candiotti. Plenty of room for Giambi. The Red Sox go in order. In the second, after an inning and a half, no score. We'll be back after these words from your local stations along the 68 Sports Red Sox television network.
Tom Candiotti battling Pedro Martinez, scoreless so far between Oakland and Boston. Those are the late games that are going on right now. Just a minute ago, we showed you the American League and all the finals that have happened so far there. Let's catch you up to date on the National League. A disastrous day and start for the Reds. Marge shot after yesterday's 10-2 loss, slipped in her driveway. She had hip surgery. She'll be laid up for 3 months. May take that long for the Reds to win their first game. They've given up 20 in 2 days to the Padres. Steve Finley knocked in 4 against them. The Cubs, they waited 15 games to their first win last year. They're 1-1. Kevin Ory with a big night for them. Mark Clark gets the win against the Marlins 10-3. 3 Pittsburgh pitchers shut out the Expos 4-0. Houston rallies after giving up the lead, comes from behind and beats the Giants by a 7-6 count. Wagner the save in that game, and Colorado behind Dante Bichette, who went hitless in his first at bat last night against Arizona, then had 6 straight hits. He's now 7 for 9 this year. He's knocked in Larry Walker twice tonight with a single and a double. And last night, it was Darryl Kyle beating him 9-2. Tonight, it is John Thompson, one of the top young pitchers in their organization, shutting out Arizona 3-0 as they play the 7th. Sunday Night Baseball comes your way. It'll wrap up a huge week for us here with 6 games in all. That'll be the Giants against the Diamondbacks from Bank One Park. In the meantime, we go out to Chris Berman at Anaheim.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the opening game of the Anaheim Angels 1998 baseball season and the official dedication of the new Edison International Field of Anaheim. Please welcome your host for this evening's ceremony, ESPN's Chris Berman.
Good things come to those who wait, do they not? What's another half hour among friends? We'll get this out of the way early. It is great to be back in Anaheim. Thank you for being here tonight for a truly historic moment in Angels history and really a landmark event for all baseball fans. It is a thrill, it's an honor, of course it's a privilege to welcome you to Edison International Field, the magnificent new home of your Angels. We hope you think of it as your home as well. Frankly, it's a ballpark that could go all the way. Building a ballpark of this magnitude takes a lot of planning, takes a lot of support and guidance from some key players. It's my pleasure to introduce the All-Star team to you right now. They are, in order of appearance, the Mayor of Anaheim, Mr. Tom Daly. The Chairman of the Board and Chief Executive Officer of Edison International, Mr. John E. Bryson. The Chairman of the Walt Disney Company, Mr. Michael Eisner. And the President of Anaheim Sports, Mr. Tony Tavares. Gentlemen, our hats off to you for making this field of dreams into a dream come true. This ballpark is not only a fitting home for a great young Angels team, but it represents the celebration of the game of baseball itself. Well, we thought you might like to meet some of the young players, the real young players, who bridge the game's rich past with the promise of the future into the next millennium. And that future, of course, begins now, as the Little Leaguers from here in Anaheim join me to help officially open Edison International Field. Come on, fellas. Just a little something we whipped up. And now, we'll introduce them individually in a little while. But please give a warm, and by the way, it never does rain in Southern California, does it? I didn't think so. Please give a warm Southern California greeting to the visiting team, the New York Yankees. Let's try the Anaheim Angels then. At this time, I'd like to ask you to please stand, sing along with one of the world's great recording artists and a fellow Connecticut resident, I should add, as he performs the national anthem. Ladies and gentlemen, the one and only Michael Bolton.
Oh, say, can you see look so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so violently steaming, and the rockets red glare, our bombs bursting in air, and gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave? Oh, the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Thank you, Michael. Try hitting that note sometime. Do it in the privacy of your own home. We have asked 4 all-time Angel greats to join us tonight in throwing out the ceremonial first pitch for this historic game. A 6-time All-Star. This Angel was with the team during its inaugural season as the Los Angeles Angels in 1961. 3-time winner of the Owner's Trophy as the Angels MVP. He later managed the club to its first division title in 1979. He was inducted to the Angels Hall of Fame in '89 after an 18-year career in the majors. At the time of his induction, he led the Angels' all-time list in games, at-bats, hits, and triples. Please welcome Jim Bella Fregosi. One of the most popular players in Angels history. This player joined the club in 1977 and played on all 3 of its Western Division championship teams. He holds the Major League record for fielding percentage by a second baseman in a season, 997 mark in 1985. In 1981, he was the first second baseman to lead the league in homers since 1901. He finished with a career 266 average, 224 homers, Angels Hall of Fame in 1988. Please welcome Bobby 7-Year Grich. This man was the 16th player in Major League history to collect 3,000 hits, 7 batting titles, a career .328 average. Holds the all-time Angels batting average record when he hit .339 in 1983. He was inducted to both the Angels and the Baseball Hall of Fame in 1991. He could still hit 300 in his sleep. Rod Carew. Played with the Angels from 1982 to 1986, during which time he contributed to 2 Western crowns. He ranked 6th on the all-time home run list, 563 homers, remains the only player in history to win 2 World Series MVPs, 27 World Series games, 10 homers, 24 ribbies, Mr. October, elected to Cooperstown in '93, Reggie Jackson. take your places. We're ready for the first pitch, almost. Someone else will join us tonight. Someone without whom this ceremony would be less than complete. He is the man who brought the Angels to Southern California in 1961 and to their permanent home here in Anaheim in 1966. His number, 26, symbolic of his place on the roster as the Angels' 26th man, was retired in 1982 in honor of his contribution to the team. His skills as a businessman and his love of the game have been the wings on which this franchise has flown. He is the #1 Angel, the ultimate Angel. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Gene Autry.
Hey, boss. Okay. Mr. Autry, good to see you again. All right, great to see you. Let's have a good year.
Good to see you. Cheers, Bundy. Here's Rodney. Oh. Don't go. This good. Very good.
You know this guy.
How you doing? I'm all right.
Mr. Autry, welcome home. Would you like to say hello?
Yes, sir. What would you like for me to say?
It's your place.
I say that I'm back in the saddle again right here.
He's home.
Right here. Shows it the family right here. Thank you.
All right, so the Cowboy looking in fine form. The Garth Brooks of the 30s still kicking, and he's back in the saddle again. Angels and Yankees coming your way momentarily after they clear the field. In the meantime, let's clear up what else is going on in baseball. Indians and Mariners. Manny Ramirez has homered. Roberto Alomar, who homered last night, the Indians' only homer last night, has knocked it around with a double. Jarrett Wright looking strong so far. He has a 2-0 lead on Jamie Moyer and the Mariners in the top of the third. Pedro Martinez is earning every bit of his money so far. He's always been a good April pitcher. He has retired all 9 A's in order. The Red Sox are up for their 4th turnaround on Tom Candiotti. No score there in Oakland. Rockies and the Diamondbacks is 5-0. The big story here, Vinny Castilla has homered again. He hit 2 last night. He's the first player in the majors to get to 3, and he's not even through his 2nd game yet. Also, Dante Bichette has 7 hits already this season. He had 5 last night. He's got 2 tonight, both producing RBIs, and he scored in Castilla's homer. They're shutting out the Diamondbacks 5-0. They're clearing the field. We'll be ready for Andy Pettitte and Chuck Finley, the Yankees opener and the Angels home opener next.
He is 9 years old, and he has deciphered the most sophisticated code the world has ever known. On April 3rd, there must be nothing that connects the boy to this office. The danger is growing. Get down! The mystery is deepening. Do not call the police. Police can't protect son. And the stakes are rising. This is national security. From the producer of Apollo 13 and Ransom. Take your best shot. Bruce Willis. Mercury Rising. Rated R. Starts Friday at theaters everywhere.
Hey, pull me back. Ooh, that feels pretty good. What's this stuff? I'm not going there. No way. Forget about it. Hey, come on. I got an image to uphold here.
Only your Sherwin-Williams store has super paint. It's guaranteed for 20 years against peeling, blistering, and fading.
Oh, yeah. Now that's the good stuff, baby.
When only the best will do. Ask Sherwin-Williams.
Hey, good looking. Want to go for a little spin?
When 3X comes, start working for the FBI. Anything can happen.
They're not cops, but they are the good guys.
Watch closely now. This week,
when this baby goes off, will be a shout out around the world.
A secret militia has planted chemical bombs in L.A.
1,000 times more deadly than cyanide.
It's a countdown to destruction.
We found a bomb less than a minute ago.
And time is running out.
It's a trap!
Hold on, an all-new episode of Players only on NBC.
Hold on.
Welcome back to our Wednesday doubleheader here on ESPN. We had 3 games on Tuesday, and we had at least an hour's rain delay and ceremony delay out in Anaheim. So we'll be starting with the Yankees and Angels shortly, but it's been a full day, day 2 of opening day here in the major leagues. So let's catch you up on the rest of the scoreboard, and that includes the Devil Rays. 2 games into their existence, they've gotten a win. They knock off the Tigers 11-8, and Rolando Araujo wins his major league debut, and he's the first victorious Tampa pitcher ever. Big night for Luis Gonzalez for the Tigers and Tony Clark, but Fred McGriff, the native Tampanian, drives in 4. They bang out 18 hits, and the Devil Rays are in the victory column. Royals and Orioles. KC won the opener for the season 4-1. Here's a team that does not do well on opening day, so the Royals with a rare victory, and then Cal Ripken gets the Orioles back in this series. A grand slam home run in the opening inning. They put 5 on Glendon Rush. That's the 8th grand slam of Ripken's career, and long ball would play a big part in a long night for Glendon Rush, which actually didn't last long. Jeffrey Hammonds takes him out to right field. That was in the bottom of the 4th, made it 6-1. Lenny Webster on a 1-2 count makes it back-to-back jack. Webster would homer again in this game. Baltimore hit 4 for the game, and Scott Erickson did the rest, manhandling the Royals on a 4-hit complete game, and it gives him 100 victories even in his career with the 10-1 rout. Twins and Blue Jays. Roger Clemens won his first 11 decisions of last year and a Cy Young Award, his 4th, and he got off to an impressive start against one-time teammate Otis Nixon. Strikes him out. Clemens struck out 3 in 7 innings of work. Runner aboard for Jose Cruz Jr., who nails this one off Bob Tewksbury, a 2-run shot. He'd also knock in another run, but by the 9th, it was 3-2, and Randy Myers was on to try and pick up his first Blue Jays save. He jumps off the mound, gets Pat Mears, who had just taken him out of the park foul on what would have been a go-ahead 2-run homer. Myers recovers, gets the out, and picks up his first save, and so the Blue Jays open victoriously in Skydome against the Twins. At Bank One Ballpark, second game between the Rockies and Diamondbacks. Willie Blair gives it up to Vinny Castilla, just as last night their opening day pitcher Andy Benes had given up 2 home runs to Castilla. So already early in this season, Vinny Castilla has 3 home runs for the Rockies. They've gone to the bottom of the 8th. Diamondbacks still looking to break through on John Thompson, one of the best young pitchers in the organization for the Rockies. Dante Bichette with another huge night. He's got 7 hits already this season. He had 5 last night, and he's knocked in 2 tonight. Giants and the Astros. Last night they played 13 innings with the Giants pulling it out in extra frames. Tonight they came from behind, took the lead, then gave it back up. 7-6. The Astros knocked them off. Billy Wagner saving it. Trevor Miller picks up the win in relief as Mike Hampton had started that game for Houston. Pirates and the Expos. Scoreless game in the 4-2 odds. Kevin Young facing Carlos Perez, the animated one. Oh, he loves it. 4 shutout innings for Perez with the strikeout there. Francisco Cordova was every bit what Carlos was, though. He gets Shane Andrews on the bender. So we're 0-0 through 5. Take it to the 7th. Gene Lamont's team breaks out 1-0. Perez against Tony Womack. Goes the other way, skewers it inside the left field line. A 2-run double. Part of a Pirates 4-0 win as they used 3 pitchers to combine on the shutout. Rich Losell getting the last out in relief of Francisco Cordova. Mark Wilkins came on in the 8th in that 4-0 5-hit shutout of the Expos. Padres and the Reds. Last night was a humiliation in the home opener, 10-2. Tonight the Reds scored 9 times, but they gave up 10 again. Padres win it by that count. Steve Finley, the Saluki, knocked in 4 runs. Reds did get some hitting, but a little too much was given up on their side. Hamilton gets the win. Hoffman picks up the save, and more bad news for the Reds. The disposed owner, Marge Schott, who won't be able to take over the team until next season, fell in her driveway after last night's loss. She had hip surgery. She'll be laid up about 3 months. Cubs and Marlins. It took them 15 games to win their first victory of 1997. The Cubs rout the Marlins 10-3 to pull to 1-1 on the season as they put up 10 runs, 10 hits. Kevin Ory, a big part of that, went 3 for 4 with a single, double, and homer, knocked in 4 runs. And Mark Clark has never lost a road game as a Cub pitcher. He's now 6-0 in his brief Chicago career. That's what else is going on in baseball. We're ready now for the Yankees' debut against the Angels.
All right, Gary, thank you very much. And from the field to the booth, and Joe, we had the good fortune last night to open up the Indians and the Mariners. We said it was like Christmas. This must be the 12 days of Christmas. We get another opening night here at brand new Edison International Field, and we'll let the games begin. The players are ready here. This is a beautiful park.
Well, it's a beautiful park, and I'm looking forward to seeing this revamped Yankee lineup with Knobloch at the top and Jeter, and looking forward to seeing the Angels, see if Chuck Finley can bounce back and see what Cecil Fielder can do right here in Anaheim.
Well, as we'll detail the park and the changes, you're in a nice baseball-friendly 45,000-plus stadium now. Here is the lineup that you'll get to know so well this year for the Yankees. Chuck New Kids on it. Knobloch leads off. Derek Jeter is the shortstop, hitting second now this year. Paul O'Neill in right field hits third. Bernie Williams in center field hitting cleanup. Tino Martinez at first base hitting fifth. The new DH, Charles Theodore Davis. You know him as Chili, hitting sixth. Chad Curtis gets the start tonight in left field. Scott Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious is the new third baseman, hitting eighth. And Joe Girardi behind the plate, hitting ninth against the 6'6" left-hander from Monroe, Louisiana, Chuck Huckleberry Finley, who was cruising along last year until he got hurt, and he hopes to pick up this year where he left off. He won his last 10 decisions before the injury in midseason, Joe.
Well, he's the ace of the staff. He has been for the last couple of years, and he was on a roll before he went down last year, and we'll see how he bounces back. He did not have a very good spring. Take a quick look at the defense. You see the outfield is the stars of this ball club. Garrett Anderson in left, Jim Edmonds in center, and Tim Salmon in right field. That is the strength of the ball club.
Matt Walbeck is the catcher that you see, and Todd Green, the youngster, they hope to have him in early May, but they are not sure. We should tell you before the game begins, and the delay now is they're just going to close the outfield fence. They have a couple of glitches, or as you saw one of the Angels that I introduced before the game, Gritches, maybe, Bobby Gritch. But they are not used to rain here in Southern California. Everybody knows the song "It Never Rains in Southern California." But with El Nino, we can shelve that. Now, drainage was never a factor in really building all these parks out here, except maybe the Bay Area, Joe. So the outfield is going to play uncertain. There are some puddles. The balls may die there. They may skid. The fielders themselves won't know really how to react. And, you know, this is really new a little bit for the Angels, too. They're not used to playing in the rain out here, so keep that in mind as you watch the game tonight. And that's got to make everybody, both teams, tentative out there, doesn't it?
Well, opening day, you always have some jitters, yet you're going to play on a soft field. It makes it even a little more difficult to adjust.
You had a look out there briefly of what they call the extravaganza, although I think they're asking me to kind of name this thing out there, Joe, in left center field, where if the Angels hit a homer, you'll see the, I think, 90-foot waterfalls, and it's in left center field, so it's not in the eye of the batter, and it's a nice green background there. You can see it. But I guess the ball will bound off the rocks. It's supposed to emulate the coastline here all up and down the state of California. And they've really done an unbelievable job. I was talking to some of the Angels who have been here so many times, and they all said to me, like Rod Carew said, "Where are we?" We're underway at last here in Anaheim, and Chuck Finley begins with a strike to the newest Yankee, the much ballyhooed acquisition, the all-star from the Minnesota Twins, Chuck Knobloch.
Knobloch is one of the best leadoff hitters in all of baseball, if not the best. His on-base percentage is always over 400. He had 390 last year, but over the last 3 years, he's averaged over 400.
Ground ball that Norberto Martin will backhand and throw the big stretch over to the youngster Darren Erstad. And there was one up, one down here in the Yankee first. Erstad, Martin, an Angel that you certainly will recognize. Gary Disarcina is at short and Dave Hollins at third base. That's your infield tonight behind Chuck Finley. And a look at some of the view. And much like Jacobs Field, now you're looking from the outfield, but there are some what they call dugout box suites that are closer to home plate, like in Cleveland, than the pitcher's mound is. They're closer than 60 feet 6 inches, and that's bizarre, isn't it, Joe?
Well, it's awfully close.
Yeah. They do have glass in front of them, though, so a wild pitch won't come in and knock over anybody's soda. This is Derek Jeter, who has hit all up and down the Yankee lineup the last couple of years, but he will almost primarily hit in the number 2 hole. As a leadoff hitter, he did quite a good job, and Joe, you talked about the adjustments he must make as an everyday number 2 hitter.
Well, he's going to have to make some adjustments because he's not used to having this base stealer in front of him. Knobloch, who's averaged 51 stolen bases the last 3 years, is going to be running. Jeter's going to have to take a few more pitches than he's normally used to. He is a free swinger, as you can see right there. He is not the type of guy that takes a lot of pitches. You know, he's very aggressive, and if you're going to hit second behind Knobloch, you can't swing at pitches like this. You're going to have to be a little more patient. But that's something that he will have to adjust to, and he's proven that he can make adjustments. He is a fine Major League shortstop.
Only his 3rd year, but you feel you know him so well. And Finley had the bottom break out of that one. So Finley with his strikeout, and there are 2 up, 2 down. And in talking to Marcel Latchman, well, let's look at the pitch first, and
Well, one of the concerns with Jeter hitting second is his strikeout total. He had 125 strikeouts last year, and that's a lot of strikeouts for a number 2 hitter.
Talking to Marcel Latchman, of course, was once the manager here, and show what kind of fellow Marcel is. They got it in his blood. He's the pitching coach for manager Terry Collins. And who knows Chuck Finley better than Marcel Latchman, really, Joe? He's been here so long. As Finley will deal to Paul O'Neill. O'Neill taking for a strike. Says he'll work the fastball, the curve, and the splitter about equally. For a while there, he was a 2-pitch pitcher. There's Marcel. But even though he did not have a good spring, he says he really has a good command, and will watch his release point on if the curveball angles, he says, for Finley's curveball. And so far, he's dropping it pretty well, either that or the splitter, isn't he?
I'm a little skeptical of guys, you know, that think they can just turn it on the day the bell rings. If you have a poor string, it usually takes you a while to work through that. You know, just all of a sudden opening day start to pitching like you would in mid-season. And it's the same thing with a hitter. You know, a lot of guys say they can turn it on when the bell rings. I'm always a little skeptical because I've seen a lot of guys try to do that and not able to do it. And he did struggle a little bit this spring, but he seems to be throwing the ball well. But the problem with most pitchers is that they're not throwing the ball well, it's their location and the mistakes they will make during the course of a ball game.
They take a close look at Finley. If you notice the change in color of hair, it's not your television set. Chuck decided to 3-1 pitch to O'Neill, and it'll be fouled on the left field side and out of play. He said, hey, I live out here in Southern California. He's still got that twang, of course, from Louisiana. He says, I don't know, it's just something to do. I didn't want to be kind of a surfer look. It's just something to do in his 13th season as an Angel. He and Mike James have gone the blonde Beach Boy look, Joe. It's a hair thing this year. I've grown mine, and Chuck's changed his color. Who knows? See how he pitches as a blonde pitcher this year. We'll have to keep track. He loses O'Neill there, and that'll bring up Bernie Williams with 2 outs.
One thing that the Yankees do normally, and with Knobloch at the top of the order, they will make pitchers throw a lot of pitches. They will work deep into the count because all of them try to get the count in their favor. They try to get a pitcher to get behind the count and have to give them what they want to hit. And O'Neill is probably the best in the lineup at doing that. He always seems to get a good pitch to hit.
Hard to be much a better player than Bernie Williams, and of course the much celebrated, whether they go to arbitration or not. He's a 1-year contract here with the Yanks. We'll see how it plays out at the end of the year, but boy, they need him in center. He's one of the true stars of the game, and people are just learning how good he is.
He's a much better hitter, more power from the right side. He's a much more powerful hitter from the right side, so he's hitting on the strong side tonight. There you see what he's done. Actually, last year he hit more home runs right-handed, but he is a much stronger hitter from the right side.
Well, he is the only man on the 0-1 pitch. Outside, 1-1. He's the only man to hit in the postseason now. home runs from both sides of the plate. He did it twice. Did it in that big game at Texas when they won the division series in Game 4. He did it in one of the Seattle games in 95, 96. He's done it both years. Postseason home runs from both sides of the plate, one game. Strike on the outside corner, looked like a fastball up. Got the corner, and the count is 1-2.
Well, Finley goes with a fastball towards the outside corner. Bernie Williams doesn't like the call, but it's strike 2.
Finley will keep an eye on O'Neill. He's not likely to go in this situation, although the Yankees are so good. One of the things that we've noticed among them is they're such professional hitters, Joe, that it's more like a run and hit, because Joe Torre is so confident of the bat in their hands with 2 strikes, more than most other managers would be, and they're going to at least get a piece of the ball. Of course, with 2 outs, it's more of a moot point, but that's a luxury that he has on this team, isn't it?
Well, they're all professional hitters. They're all smart hitters. They're veteran hitters. They've been around a while.
Fouled out of play. Jim Evans, the umpire behind the plate tonight. Larry McCoy, Mark Johnson, and Chuck Merriweather around the bases. Kind of settled down here. The rain is pre-game festivity. What a great ovation for Rod Carew, by the way. That was wonderful. Well deserved at first. 2 strikeouts here in the first inning for Chuck Finley. So far the new hairdo works. The Angels to their first time up in their new yard when we come back.
The very thought of you, and I forget to do the little ordinary things that everyone ought to do. It's just the thought of you, the very thought of you.
Now's the time to roll into Sears, because you can save $20 to $60 on a set of 4 select Michelin, Bridgestone, Trailhandler, or Viper tires. So get in, get tires, and get rolling. Sears Auto Center.
Polished brass has always had one problem. Until now. Delta introduces Brilliance, the extraordinary polished brass finish that's guaranteed to shine for life. Brilliance from Delta, the faucet.
Sprint announces 300 minutes free. Another great reason to stay in touch.
Hello?
Hey, honey, who's the character actor with the bald head? You know who I mean.
Sign up for Sprint Sense Long Distance now, and it doesn't matter what you talk about, because you'll get a great dime-a-minute rate and up to 300 minutes free.
This is great.
What, the movie?
No, talking to you this long for free.
Look, it's him.
Talk all you want and get 300 minutes free. Call now, 1-800-PIN-DROP.
Maybe that's new faithful here at Edison International Field as we take a look at manager Terry Collins' opening day lineup for the Anaheim Angels. Young first baseman Darren Erstad will lead off. Very odd a first baseman would lead off. Jim Edmonds, he of the circus catches, hitting second and center field. Dave Hollins, the one-time Philly at third base. Tim Sockeye Salmon in right field. 30-plus home runs in 4 consecutive years. No Angel has never done that. Cecil Fielder, Yankee last year, Angel this year at DH. Garrett Anderson hitting 6th and left field. Norberto Martin begins at second base as Randy Velarde starts the year on the DL. Matt Walback is the catcher. Gary Little Old Lady from Disarcenia is the shortstop against the left-hander for the New York Yankees, the youngest lefty to start, the youngest pitcher for the Yankees to start opening day since Mel Stottlemyre in '67. Andy Pettitte, 25 years young.
Well, Andy Pettitte, you see, had a great season last year, 18-7. He could have won the Cy Young Award the year before. He has been a very good pitcher for the Yankees and very consistent.
Young Darren Erstad from Fargo, North Dakota looks at Pettitte's first offering. It's a ball. Andy winning 39 games the last couple of years. As you point out, he finished second to Pat Henkin in '96 when he was a 21-game winner, 21-8. Chopper that is wide at first base, gloved by Tino Martinez.
So he got a little more extension on his delivery during spring training, and he felt like he added a few miles per hour to his fastball. But he uses a cut fastball and a slider as his basic out pitches. Threw a few more changeups in the spring, but again, it's his fastball, his slider, and his cut fastball that he does most of the damage with.
I think for a youngster, and you know, 25 years pitching in the World Series and the champs and in the playoffs, just call him that. You know, he pitches so much beyond his years, and he's consistent, Joe. Last year, 35 starts, only 8 times did he give up more than 3 earned runs a game. I mean, that's pretty impressive. There's the Stottlemyre note. Last guy to be younger than 25. Mel, who was his pitching coach, fittingly. So David Cone, usually the opening day starter for the Yankees, but Pettitte is now 1, Cone is now 2 on the staff. Not a subtle change, but yet a change.
Well, I think Pettitte has been the #1 pitcher for the last couple of years, even though he didn't have that title. He has been the guy that has given them the best.
Coney will go tomorrow night here against the Angels, and Pettitte pulled the string on that one. Erstad goes down swinging.
And let's take a look at the Yankees defense that will play behind Pettitte. Chuck Knobloch and Derek Jeter, the double play combination. Very strong up the middle. Both very good glove men. In fact, Knobloch won a Gold Glove last year, his first Gold Glove. Derek Jeter, very fine shortstop.
Should have mentioned it. Cone is really the #2 starter here, but just the way it worked out of spring, they're holding him to the 4th game at Oakland. David Wells, the other boomer. Well, there's many boomers here in sports. There's Esiason, there's yours truly, but Coney goes in the 4th game as the Yankees go from here to Oakland. Wells goes tomorrow night here against Ken Hill in the 2nd game of this brief 2-game set. Good to see David back. Says he feels good, and David says he's going to be more of a control pitcher, more of a spot pitcher. He says, I realize I can throw less than 100 pitches and get out of a game. Now, that's tough to make that switch, isn't it, if you're David Cone? You know who did that successfully, Joe, was Frank Tanana. He changed his entire game, didn't he?
David Cone has been kind of the money pitcher on this ball club. They've always used him to start the playoffs, even though Pettitte, as I said, has been a little more consistent, but Cone has had a few injuries the last couple of years. He's the kind of guy that battles, and they always seem to want to start their playoffs every year with David Cone.
Canada's 1-2 to Jim Edmonds, the daily highlight reel in center field. Oh, Andy really pulled it. You know, I know it says 75 miles an hour. It looked like it was about 60, didn't it, Joe?
It was interesting that if you watched Edmonds stride, watch, he doesn't stride. Watch, look at that. He just picks his foot up, sets it down, and then bails anyway. He's trying to stay there, but look at his body. He pulls right off, and he was completely fooled by the breaking ball. But you could see that he did not even stride. He was just trying to make contact. A lot of hitters do different things with 2 strikes. A lot of hitters choke up to make better contact. A lot of people shorten their stride. And as we saw with Edmonds, he didn't even stride at all.
Jimmy also going to the lighten hair route, but not the total Finley. It's more the half chuck. Let's bring up Dave Hollins. As nice as in the Angels clubhouse before the game as we waited during the rain delay. Hollins base hit up the middle, so the first hit, and there's the puddle. Look at this. Hollins can go for 2. Well, I don't mean to laugh, because that not only it's like he backed up an L wedge, Joe, out there in short center field, and then Bernie Williams has to throw it, and who knows what that's going to feel like when you throw the ball.
Well, the one thing the outfielders have to do is make sure they grip the ball across their seams, or it will get away from them. A high fastball out over the plate. Hollins rips it back through the middle, and we'll see it stop there in center field. But you have to make sure you get it across the seams, or else your hands will slip off the ball when you make your throw back to the infield.
Joe, that's kind of like your short game, isn't it? Backing it right up. Hollins, I would just want to continue as Timmy Salmon comes up to the plate. A nice reunion of him and Jim Fregosi, one of those who we honored before the game. Of course, Fregosi is manager when those Phillies won the National League pennant in '93 and really were one of the most fun teams that I can remember in recent years. And Hollins fit right in with those guys. They did it with heart, and I would say about 25 parts bravado on that squad. Here is one of the unknown stars of the game. We talk about Bernie Williams, but he's in New York. I mean, look, 33, 129 for Tim Salmon, yet he's not into promoting himself, and I don't mean that he's not polite or nice or talk about, but he just wants to come to work. And look at his season averages, Joe, for a career. If you play in of course, getting on the postseason stage will change all that, but he really is one of the true stars of the game, isn't he? He could really have a bust-out year this season.
One of the problems that Salmon has had in the past is he's always gotten off to a slow start, and then he ends up with great numbers. And when you start off slowly, a lot of people forget you, and that's why you do not make a lot of all-star teams. What they tried to do this spring was get him more at-bats in the spring, get him ready for opening day, and he feels like that he got enough at-bats, he hit well in the spring, and he will not have that slow start that he's used to the last couple of years.
An outstanding spring. That goes by your theory of, hey, you have a good spring, you're going to have a good start.
Yeah, I just don't believe you can just turn it on, you know, one day. You're playing every day in spring training, you're hitting so-so, and all of a sudden the season starts. Today, I'm going to be good. It doesn't work that way in baseball. Baseball is a tough game.
Well, they're going to be using the extra mud caulks tonight, Joe. I mean, each pitcher is going to take some time with the file, getting the dirt out of the cleats. Dirt, of course, with the field as well. So a little more clay, a little more spongy than normal had it been, no pun intended, a little more well soiled. Two-out walk to Tim Salmon, puts runners at first and second for Cecil Fielder. Cecil has dropped 30 pounds, he told me, since last season. It's by a lot of life cycle, a lot of water. Joe Torre, of course, had him on the squad when the Yankees won the World Series in '96, and last year as well, knows how to pitch to him. But that's Andy Pettitte's job, and you see how Cecil, well, he scattered his new teammates. He's supposed to hit that in the other dugout.
Cecil has always been a guy that kind of liked the ball out over the plate, and the first pitch by Pettitte is a slider in, and you can see that Cecil expects him to pitch him in, so he turned on the fastball. They may have an idea about how to pitch Cecil, but he also knows how they want to pitch him. So I think it's an even matchup there. It's just a matter who executes the best.
He really nationally is one of the most well-liked players, because before this modern run of home runs, Joe, if you will, when there were just 5 guys in each league who had hit 50 or more homers, Cecil was the first since Marison Mantle in '61 to get to that 50 home run barrier. He did it on the last day of the season, of course, back in 1990. Oddly enough, it was in Yankee Stadium. He hit 2, ended up with 51 homers. Since then, 4 more guys, McGuire and Jr. and Brady Anderson and Albert Bell, have hit 50 homers in one season. But he really kind of started the barrage here in the 90s, if you will. Because last year his home runs were way off, hand injury. Hopefully that is for him a new start here in Anaheim. Hollins at second and Salmon at first. 2-1 pitch. Off speed, up top and in, 3-1.
And you can see every pitch they've thrown Cecil has been inside off the plate, because they do not want to get the ball out over the plate so he can extend his arms. Joe Torre shaking his head. He thinks that maybe one of those pitches was a strike.
Better be careful at 3-1 here. And now the count is full.
Well, every pitch has been inside. That tells you that they do not care what the count is or what the situation is. That's how they're going to pitch him. Because normally you fall behind 3-1, and then you may try to go away because you've got the hitter looking inside. But they stayed right inside, so they're convinced that that's the way to get Cecil Fielder out, is to stay in tight.
To left field, just foul. 3 and 2 and 2 outs in the mud down there. That could have scored a pair. Probably would have.
Well, they try to go inside again. This pitch is out over the plate. Actually, a good pitch for Cecil to hit. He hits it hard, but he pulls it just foul down the left field line. That was not where they were trying to make that pitch. They wanted it in closer to his body, and they got it out over the plate.
Do it again, and Hollins and Salmon will be off with the pitch. Anew. Dave Hollins, who's at second base, has a chance to not only get the first Angel hit here in the with Salmon at first. First Angel hit, he could score the first Angel run in the refurbished Edison International Field. Foul tip that Girardi could not quite hold, so we'll do it again. Does not allow gophers. Man, this isn't really the situation, but maybe the best pickoff move in the game, possessed by Andy Pettitte. But the issue is Cecil Fielder, and time is called. Now, the weather shouldn't affect the shoelace. We'll do it again.
Well, you see Cecil upset with himself there because, again, Pettitte left the ball over the middle of the plate, not where he wanted to make the pitch. Now watch where you see Girardi set up inside. Look where the pitch is, right out over the middle, and Cecil knows that he had a good pitch to hit, and he did not hit it.
Ninth pitch from Pettitte to Cecil coming up. 34 years of age, Cecil Fielder. Oh, yeah. We'll do it again. In the Angel clubhouse before the game, Joey. He has a spot in the clubhouse. It's way back in the corner. He goes, I almost didn't see him. A, because he's so slim. B, he says, hey, Boomer. He goes, I'm the old settler back here in the corner. You know, here he's a little beard and kind of hiding out a little bit. He likes this, and he could play a huge role with this team. But still, many of their stars are the young players. Scoots past Girardi. Hollins will come now. Now he'll stop. Took a wide turn and is held up by Larry Bowa at third base. But now after 2 are out, single and a pair of walks, has loaded the bases for the young left fielder Garrett Anderson.
Well, they stayed inside. That ball actually should have been caught. It was just a pitch off the plate. It didn't bounce. Girardi did not make the catch. And there you see Hollins as he rounds third base, just in case Girardi could not pick the ball up.
There's one thing, as we told you, that with the seats pretty close to home plate, not a lot of room back there for the ball to get lost. Of course, it's not that unusual. I mean, the old parts are like this, with not a lot of room, and the brand new parts are like this. This is a view from Edison International Field. Big A is no more. They've converted from a dual baseball football stadium, since the Rams are this just in St. Louis. Converted it back to a baseball field of 45,050 is your capacity. Bases full for Garrett Morris Anderson. Off speed up top for a ball. Anderson grew up in this area, not the Hills, LA area. Last year hit at .303 as a lifetime .301 hitter. hitting .321 in the '95 season, which the Angels lost to Seattle in that playoff. 1-1.
There's Andy Pettitte, a little cut fastball that moves on the outside corner or on the inside corner if you're a right-handed hitter. That's the spot that he tries to keep the ball most of the time. Down and toward the inner half of the plate. He just stays right there whether you're left-handed or right-handed.
Way ahead of that one was Anderson, and now Pettitte in control at 1-2.
This pitch never started in the strike zone. It's a curveball, and it bounces right at home plate, so it was never in the strike zone. Garrett Anderson did not pick up the spin very well.
Dave Hollins at third base. Tim Salmon at second, and Cecil Fielder at first. Scoreless, bottom of the first, but the Angels hoping to break through against Andy Pettitte. Nothing doing. That's big pitches by a big-time pitcher. So the Angels strand 3. We've played 1. No score here in Anaheim.
You'd really like to be there, but it's miles away. Let DirecTV Sports take you to the game with MLB Extra Innings. See up to 35 regular season games every week from all across the country and never leave home. Call 1-800-GET-SPORTS and get the entire regular season for only $119 or 4 payments of $29.75. Call now and save $20 off the regular season price. Catch the highlights as they happen from the best seat in the house, your house. Sit behind the plate, down the line, up the alley, on the bag, even in your very own skybox. Order right now, and you'll also get a free subscription to On, the official magazine of DirecTV Sports. Choose from up to 35 regular season games every week, and we'll take you there. Heck, you don't even have to pay for parking, but you do have to pick up the peanut shells. Order MLB Extra Innings today on DirecTV Sports.
When a trip to the wilderness becomes a fight for survival, 2 rivals.
You and my wife? I've seen you with her.
I don't want to hear it! Must rely on each other.
Come on, Charles!
And if you think you know who will survive,
Well, it's full of betrayal.
you have never been.
I'm not gonna die. I'm gonna kill the mother.
To the edge.
Get me!
Anthony Hopkins, Alec Baldwin, The Edge.
Playing this month on Direct Ticket, only on DirecTV.
So the next time someone scores a hat trick, consider throwing something different, like a bowler. Beret, stovepipe, yarmulke, tam, sombrero, Indian headdress. I wouldn't go there.
No score here on opening night in Anaheim. The Angels and the Yankees. Chris Berman along with Joe Morgan. I'm glad you could join us on opening night part 2. Opening night for our Sunday Night Baseball. Joe will be reunited with John Miller as the Giants invade the Bob, take on the Arizona Diamondbacks. Matt Williams faces his old mates at the third baseman now for Arizona. Barry, U.S. Bonds, and the Giants have split their first 2 games thus far this season in Houston. I think you've seen that game earlier on ESPN. The Giants fought from way back. Houston winning tonight 7-6. Now we begin the second inning, and batting against Chuck Finley, Tino Martinez, Chili Davis, and Chad Curtis. Talk about a guy that always, like Junior last night, Joe. Talk about a guy that always hits homers when I happen to do games. Tino Martinez. He had, for you Yankee fans, it was not opening night, but on this night, on the opening Wednesday of the season last year, you and I did the game, he had 3 home runs in Seattle. And people forget that with Griffey and McGuire on the home run chase, he was right in it for the first 4 months of the season. Won the home run derby at the All-Star game in Cleveland. So that one bounces by. 44 home runs last year. He had 34 RBIs in the month of April, which was a major league record. So he couldn't get much hotter than Tino at the beginning of last season. Can he duplicate it this April? Not at least in his first at bat. Strikeout number 3 for Finley.
Well, both of these pitchers have been in very good command of the breaking balls and off-speed pitches down. All the strikeouts have come on pitches that are out of the strike zone. They have not had a called third strike, and they have not had a strike in the zone the strikeout end of the hitters. There have been 6 strikeouts, and all of them have been pitches out of the strike zone.
Check the other scores across the street here at the pond. The Ducks are skating against the Coyotes. Angels, Yanks, Ducks, Yotes, all in a nice traffic jam, Joe, later on. Just trying to get your getaway plans ready.
Chili Davis has really hit Chuck Finley well. He has hit 3 home runs off of Chuck. And you see Chili a little more patient, not chasing those pitches out of the strike zone. Chili Davis is really a professional hitter. He's grown into be one of the best, smartest hitters in all of baseball. And I really think that he's going to help the Yankees a lot more than people realize. In fact, I believe that if the Yankees would have gotten him last year, they tried to trade for him in the middle of the season. If they would have had him last year, they would have won. They would have gone a lot further. I really have a lot of admiration for Chili because he seems to just go up and do the job. He's learned how to hit. He's learned how to drive in runs, and he's just a very professional hitter.
He's always taken good care of himself. I mean, he's 38, his 17th season. Yet last year, Joe, his 30 homers was his best home run season he had ever had. But I really know the reason he liked him. He was a teammate of yours.
Yeah, he was.
So you feel young again, right?
No, when he first came to the big leagues, he was a teammate of mine in San Francisco, and he really applied himself a lot. He learned a lot about being patient as well.
Well, he's patient. He draws a base on balls with 1 out. Let's move it over to Gary Miller.
Chris, I'm patiently waiting to tell you about Dante Bichette, who isn't waiting to rip into National League pitching, especially the Diamondbacks. It's Omar Dahl, the victim this time. Back-to-back 4 for 5 nights. He knocked in Larry Walker 3 times now. He's hitting 800, and Castilla's got 3 homers. They're 2-0.
All right, Gary, thank you. Well, I mean, it's going to be a long season, an exciting one, but it's going to be a long season for the Diamondbacks because, frankly, Joe, as Chad Curtis steps up, I mean, everyone in the National League West has a chance to be over 500 this year. And, you know, they're going to go division games against San Diego, and Colorado, and San Francisco, and Los Angeles. It's going to be a tough haul for him. Here's Chad Curtis in a 3-way platoon in left, really, with Strawberry and Rain.
I almost laughed. I read an article that said that the Diamondbacks would probably escape the cellar in the National League West, and that's one of the toughest divisions in all of baseball.
No, not yet. There goes Chili. The throw by Wallback. Gone. Umpire waited to see if Martin bobbled the ball. He did not. Chili had a fair jump, but maybe running on the the new dirt, could that be slow footing, Joe? I mean, they did have a tarp on over it.
Well, Finley never did check him. Chili just took off. Good throw here by Wallback, right there on the money, and Martin makes the tag. I don't know if that was a missed hit and run or what, because Chili Davis is not known for his base stealing.
I was surprised.
And also, you got to remember that Joe Torre likes to hit and run. He plays National League style baseball. He'll hit and run. He'll bunt sometime.
Base is clear now with 2 outs. The count, though, 3-0 on Curtis, who will be taken. And now he draws a base on ball.
Now you see the difference this inning with the Yankees. They have not chased those low pitches out of the strike zone, and they've had 2 bases on balls here in the inning.
3 walks already for Finley, Joe.
Yeah, there's Chili. I'm not sure that he knows whether. I think he thinks it was more of a hit and run and missed by Chad Curtis.
Chili was one, and here is the new third baseman of the Yankees with the longest nickname in the league, Scott Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, and his teammates are already calling him Super, I understand. He says he's excited about this. I mean, he could be, this could be a nerve-wracking season for him in the spotlight after relative obscurity in Oakland, although when he first came up with Oakland, they were still the Oakland A's, and they were in postseason. Even though he was not a main cog in that lineup, he was around those teams. Dwyer and Seiko and Dave Stewart, Welch, etc. So he's gotten a taste of it, but New York third base, this will be different for him, Joe. How do you think he'll do?
Well, he's a good defensive player. His hitting last year, he struggled most of the season, had a good year the year before, a good half year. but he has never proved that he can play on an everyday basis and put up any offensive numbers. But he's a good defensive player, and that's what they're looking to him for. They've got enough offense, they feel like, on this ball club. They want him to do a good job at third base defensively, and anything he chips in with the bat will be a plus.
One pitch. Nope. Finley will keep an eye on Curtis. Brochus came over in a trade in November for the one that sent Kenny Rogers packing to Oakland. Brochus, you look at Curtis on base. Brochus, 31 years of age. Time is called as we're not exactly moving like we're double parked outside the stadium at this stage, Joe. Think of outside the stadium, here we are. Car running. We could probably, between pitches, catch a couple minutes of the Ducks game and then come back.
Well, as I said, they're a little more patient with Finley in this inning than they were in the first inning. First inning and a third.
On. The 3-wood out of here. 2-1 the count to Brochus with Curtis at first. Foul, get ready. Oh, just over us. I'm relying on you to make those grabs, you know.
I don't make any catches in the booth.
Leaving it to me?
Doesn't come in my job description.
The pond, and there's the puddle. It's chilly out here in Southern California, too. Rain and 40 degrees when we landed last night from Seattle. Feels like a spring game in the East, doesn't it, tonight? Scott Brochus from Milwaukee, Oregon. And until he went to spring training, he had never seen a Major League Baseball game. Curtis goes, Wallback throws. Oh, he's gone down a pair. What an inning for catcher Matt Wallback. Curtis has gone down at second. Heading to the bottom of the second, no score.
This is life. This is getting every mile you can out of life. And this is how you get there. Kelly Safari radios are engineered for long mileage. Of course, that's no guarantee you'll live harder or go farther. Just an invitation.
Why would someone spend their own time to hack into your company's computer system and post tons of your confidential stuff on the internet? For the same reason we pierce our tongues.
So, who's watching your network? Demanded better training facilities. Insisted on new uniforms and equipment. Held out for hundreds of free tickets. These guys will stop at nothing to get whatever they can for the Boys and Girls Clubs of America. Major League Baseball charities and the Boys and Girls Clubs of America, giving kids a world of opportunities.
ESPN's Wednesday Night Baseball is brought to you by the Delta Faucet Company. Delta, the faucet. Tuning in late and wondering why we're just here in the bottom of the second. The faucet was turned on here in Southern California here today and this evening. And about a half-hour rain delay before we started, and then opening pregame festivities, which folks here with the Angels were kind enough to ask me to help with. That was a lot of fun introducing Gosi, Rod Carew, Bobby Gritch, Reggie Jackson. don't think you think of Reggie as an angel, but yet he's played 5 years here. And then, of course, Mr. Autry, 90 years young. Gene Autry, born in 1907. And brought baseball to Southern California in the American League. And his number 26, these are the retired Angels numbers. The 26 is symbolic of the 26th man, they always called him. So he brought them here in 61, then down to Anaheim in 66. First with the Los Angeles Angels, playing in Wrigley Field. And there he is, Gene Autry. He's had a hit or two in his career, Joe. Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Back in the saddle again.
Back in the saddle again. And a lot of big Christmas tunes. The good thing about that is it comes every year. You can sell more records every year. Here is Norberto Martin. Randy Velarde starting the year on the DL. Martin, who played with the White Sox last year, will get much of the start. They just signed Craig Shipley the other day, and he'll play some second base, the Aussie. Martin last year hit 300 for Chicago. Oh, nice play by Tino Martinez, who beats Martin to the bag. 1 out. Gary Miller.
Chris EA Sports takes us to the Kingdom, where the Indians lost beat up on the Mariners the night before with a big rally, 110-9. Manny Ramirez teed off on the starter this time, Jamie Moyer. He's hit 2 home runs off him. It's 7-1 Indians, and Moyer's out of there.
Boy, Manny hit well last night. Thanks, Gary. Didn't he? I mean, he got the big hit. They're going the opposite way. He could have a huge year, Joe. We talked about it last night.
Well, he's had some good years. I mean, he's a very good hitter.
2 homers off Moyer. Matt Walbach, who threw out 2 runners here in the top of the inning, now has a chance to excel at the plate. With 47 games with Detroit last year. He was with the Twins before that. The man from Sacramento, California. Over to trade from Detroit with Phil Nevin for pitcher Nick Scusi. Scusi, if we had to miss that trade. Walbach has Todd Green waits on the DL, and they don't know when he's going to come back. Walbach, at least defensively, has impressed. Slow grounder to short. Jeter, Martinez, 2 outs. It's fun to watch him play shortstop, isn't it, Joe?
Yeah, he's a very fine shortstop. He's not as flashy as Omar Vizquel, but he gets the job done. There are a lot of fine shortstops, especially in the American League. Omar Garcia-Parra at Boston, Alex Rodriguez, Omar Vizquel, a lot of good shortstops in the American League. And shortstops are usually hard to come by. Tough position to field.
Here's the Angels shortstop, Gary Dissar Sr., cut off by Brocious, handles his first chance as a Yankee successfully. And we have played a pair here in Anaheim. Goose eggs.
What's this stuff? Yuck! No. I'm out of here, Jack. Whoa! I got standards, you know. Nice try, big fella. Going up. Hey, hubba. Whoa! See ya!
For the best, come to your Sherwin-Williams store. The only place to find super paint. You'll get a beautiful finish in 1 coat.
Everyone into the pool. Oh,
when only the best will do, ask Sherwin-Williams.
Your room, Grammy, and there's the phone. Feel free.
But your phone bill.
Oh, don't be silly. Just dial 10321 first.
Why?
It saves me money.
Well, maybe a few quick calls.
Good. 10321 saves on quick calls.
I won't talk long.
Oh, talk all you want. It saves 50% off calls over 20 minutes.
I won't call far.
Call anywhere. International rates are great, too. Just dial 10321, then the number as usual. Anything else?
Privacy would be nice.
No, I won't be afraid. I won't be afraid. Just as long as you stand by me.
Buick LeSabre is built to keep you safe and secure. A comforting thought, especially for those who aren't even in the car.
Stand by me.
For 3 days only, if it's Craftsman, it's on sale. there's over 4,000 Craftsman hand and power tools on sale. Only Craftsman could build a sale like this, because Craftsman makes anything possible.
It's amazing the natural rock formations can make an A, and fittingly we're here in Anaheim with no score with the Yankees and the Angels. Hey, for you folks out here in Southern California, there's another new sports network coming this fall. It's ESPN West, our first regional sports network. Will carry these very Angels and the Anaheim Mighty Ducks and the NHL and a whole lot more. You'll see college basketball, college football from all over the country, soccer, other events from ABC Sports, ESPN International resources around the world, and more. As we begin the third inning, ESPN West. Southern Californians, the next great thing from the worldwide leader in sports, is coming this fall to cable and satellite customers here in Southern California. And as somebody once said, I think it was me, as this ball will be out of play. Brocious, who was at the plate, by the way, when Curtis got gunned down, gets to try it again. Here at ESPN, another day, another network, Joe. 1989, when we were 10 years old, we just had the one. Now we're almost 19 years old. We got ESPN West, we got ESPN 2, we got ESPN News, we got ESPN International in about 15 different languages. We got ESPN Radio. It's, you know, for those of us that were here in month one, it's pretty amazing. Hopefully you fans have enjoyed all of our endeavors. Magazine, trying to do our best. Hopefully you like it. Panoramic view of Edison International Field. Finley strikes out Brocious to start the third inning. So for Chuck Finley, that's strikeout number 4.
Shows the difference between pitching ahead in the count and pitching behind the count. When you're behind, hitters will not chase pitches out of the strike zone. You get ahead and you can get them to chase these pitches. That's the 7th strikeout on the 7th pitch out of the strike zone between the two ball clubs.
39 pitches here as he faces the number 9 hitter, Joe Girardi. You know, there's some infighting. Joe Torre loved Joe Girardi, and certainly so does the bench coach of the Yankees, Don Zimmer, who managed Girardi in the '89 Cubs, team that made the postseason. And, you know, opening day number what? Like 60 for Zip? Many. They're one of the best baseball people, great to talk to. And, you know, he and Joe Torre loved Joe Girardi. The boss, as in George Steinbrenner, loves the way the young catcher Jorge Posada has played. And so that might be some infighting. But, hey, Girardi plays for winners, Joe. He's been to the postseason 4 different times with 3 different teams. Cubs, Rockies, 95, and now 2 with the Yankees.
Well, Girardi works the pitches very well. I mean, he's a veteran. He knows how to catch. He knows how to make his pitches work. Posada has a little more offense to add to the ball club.
Pitchers like pitching to Girardi, don't they? Even though he's not a big catcher, they like the way he calls the game, don't they?
Well, he knows how to use their strengths. He makes them, you know, use their strengths rather than just mixing pitches. He goes to their strength, especially when they get in trouble.
Count now full to Girardi with Chuck Knobloch on deck. Great things expected of him. I think he will deliver. Speed of delivering. Girardi hits it to right field. Back goes Tim Salmon to the track. Squeezes it, and there are 2 outs. So sloshing through the grass was Salmon to make the grab. Let's move it on over to Gary.
Looked like Tim Salmon thought there were 3 outs, but did anyone think the Devil Rays would be a 500 team just 2 games into the season? Fred McGriff might have. The Tampa native knocked in 4 runs. Every Devil Ray had a hit. They even the series. They score 11 this time and beat the Tigers 11-8.
Break up the Devil Rays, huh, Joe? And thanks to our view here back at Edison Field from our KABC helicopter, Ron Bodholt and Tim Delarme. Don't sound alarmed, just fly it. Thank those guys for providing us some of the scenes. Oh, those Devil Rays. Congratulations to them. Manager Larry Rothschild in their first win. Not quite enough room for Darren Erstad.
No, Chuck Knobloch is the complete package in that he won his first Gold Glove last year. He's always been a good defensive second baseman, but Roberto Alomar always won the Gold Glove. And he's a base stealer. He's hit well over 320 the last 3 years as an average. He had hit 291 last year, but before that he hit 340 and 320. So he's a good hitter, and he's a smart hitter, and he knows how to get on base. But his on-base percentage is really what impresses the Yankees. They know he's going to be on base a lot, and with all these good hitters to follow, he should score a lot of runs.
I mean, he's not afraid to get dirty either, is he? I mean, they'll lug that in New York. Dad, coach, former minor league player, and he's had baseball in his life ever since he can remember. Growing up from Houston, so the weather always good enough to play ball. And Knobloch is aboard for the first time as a New York Yankee. So with 2 outs, that'll bring up Derek Jeter.
And we'll see how Knobloch plays it. The Yankees have tried 2 attempts at stealing second base tonight, and both times they've been thrown out. And we'll see if he will take a shot. Good stolen base ratio, 62 out of 72.
And Knobloch has 276 stolen bases. You know, you don't think that he would have that many. 62 last year, in the 40s the couple of years before that. .276. It's 78%. That you would think that's more of the fleet-footed, like a guy we saw last night, a Kenny Lofton type number, who's about 80% steal. Hit well to right center field. Back is Jim Edmonds to the track, and he makes the catch. Edmonds with a good jump on that ball, and Knobloch is stranded. We head to the bottom of the 3rd inning. No score here. Yankees and Angels. A little later, as we head now to the bottom of the 3rd inning, and a leadoff batter again is the leadoff man, Darren Erstad. No first baseman has played 100 games as a leadoff hitter for their respective team. Do you remember any first baseman that led off?
Well,
really a quiz.
No, but normally a first base is a power position. First base, third base, left field, right field. That's where your power is supposed to come from. So normally your power hitters will not hit leadoff. And most of your great first basemen in the past have always been down in the lineup.
Easy play for Paul O'Neill, the last first baseman to lead off in 100 games or more for his team. The guy we saw last night, Mike Hargrove, played with Texas, 78, early in his career. The guy who could have led off some was Hal Morris, who's that type of bat. I don't know that he did.
No, he didn't run well enough.
Yeah.
I think one thing Erstad does is he runs well, so he can fit that leadoff spot. Although, again, you're sacrificing a power position, which means you have to make it up someplace else.
Of course, when Rod Carew played first base, second part of his career, nice play by this first baseman, Tino Martinez, over to Pettitte, and Jim Edmonds is now. Nice play by Tino. I assume Rod hit some leadoff when he played first, but by then maybe he was hitting second.
A nice play here by Tino Martinez. I think that's one of the underrated parts of his game. When you're a big-time slugger, as he is, your defense is overlooked. But he is your prototype first baseman, a guy that drives in a lot of runs and hits for power. A lot different than Erstad.
Our ace in the hole, Pepperdine Pete Pasquarelli, feeding me all the names of guys that could have been leadoff guys as first baseman. Brian Downing did some leadoff. Here, the Angels played here for 13 seasons. The reason that's significant is that the man, as we look at Dave Hollins, who singled in the first inning, The man pitching tonight for the Angels, Chuck Finley, has now joined Downing as the only folks to have worn the Angel uniform for 13 years. Downing, now Finley. One pitch to Dave Hollins. Hollins, when he was with the Phillies, Joe, really had potential to be a 30 home run guy. But he has been injury prone throughout his career. We never really got an idea of where he would go as a ball player. Of course, the Angels have to be concerned with that, keeping him healthy all year if he's going to hit third for this squad. Remember, he was hurt in the postseason, and he just got hit there. Never been afraid to take one, that's for sure. Remember, he was hurt that year, and then he came back, and then Jim Fergosi was in the park tonight. Would always here's the replay, and the pitch got. Remember those 93 postseason, and they kept putting in Kim Pettitte for defensive purposes. Ooh. Some exciting moments there watching the Phillies. The immortal Kim Pettitte. So how does Pettitte work Salmon here? A very dangerous hitter, Joe.
Well, he has one pattern he's used basically is he's thrown the cut fastball. There it is again.
Slow roller, Brocious, bare hand on a wet turf. Nice play. There's the defense you talked about, Joe. Brocious to Martinez. Salmon is gone. Hollins is stranded. We played 3. Nada. It was just a professional in the true sense of the word. Timmy is he's prudential. He's insurance. You get a piece of the rock when you have him on the team. Ripped up the middle by Williams. This one hits the puddle and actually squirts through to Edmonds. He fires a spitball back into the infield, and the Yankees, after being hitless in the first 3 innings, have now gotten back-to-back singles, O'Neill and Williams. So 2 on for Tino Martinez.
Well, both of the pitches have been up a little bit. That's a fastball that's a little above the knees, and Bernie Williams just lines it into center field. The breaking ball was up to Paul O'Neill, and he singled the center field as well. The second time through the order, the hitters start to make adjustments, and they're staying back through the middle on Chuck Finley, which is what you should do against most pitchers anyway. Keeps you from swinging a lot of bad pitches.
Fastball in there for a strike. Martinez struck out in the second inning against Finley. Last year we talked about that hot April in which he had the 34 RBIs. Another little nugget. Tino was the first to reach 40 RBIs in 30 games. The first guy to do it since Roy Campanella in 1953. So that was a hot start, Joe. That was a good pitch by Finley, though, as the bottom fell out of him.
That's the way he pitched him the first time around, and Tino went out of the strike zone and ended up striking out.
I worked him very nicely, and Finley has K'd Tino twice tonight.
Well, he threw him 1 strike in that at bat. He threw the first pitch fastball when Tino was taking, and he threw him 2 breaking balls out of the strike zone. 0-2, he's not going to throw a strike, and there's the pitch down and out of the strike zone, and Tino chases it.
Even though Finley is certainly not an overpowering pitcher, already 5 strikeouts here, Joe, with 1 out in the 4th. Even wears Cecil's number, doesn't he? Chili. 2 runners on for Charles Theodore Davis. Hit foul. He was one talk. You know, he played a couple stints here with the Angels, and he turned to me down there and said, well, where are we? I mean, I played here. This is my home park for several years. It's like Buddy Bell. I remember when he was coaching with Cleveland in '94, and he played for years and years and years, Joe, with the Indians. Opening day at Jacobs Field. He said, where are we?
Well, you can see the patience with Chili Davis. He makes sure that he gets a good pitch to hit, especially with runners in scoring position. One of the things that people do not realize about Chili Davis is that he's done this for a long period of time. Only Mickey Mantle and Eddie Murray have more home runs as switch hitters than Chili Davis. Chili has 328. Both of those hitters, of course, have over 500.
10 times he's hit homers from both sides of the plate in one game. Only Eddie Murray's done more with 11. He has 328 homers. Strawberry is a member of the 300 home run club. Cecil is over 300 homers. 3 guys in the park on the field. 300 club. Good pitch by Finley as Chili went chili dipping and didn't come up with it.
Well, he's throwing the splitter, and it looks like the fastball, and it just continues to move out of the strike zone. And you talked about him not being a power pitcher. The reason he's been able to finesse these hitters is get them to go out of the strike zone. All 6 of his strikeouts have been on pitches out of the strike zone.
So that'll bring up Chad Curtis. Curtis walked and was gunned out by Matt Walback. Ground ball to third base. Dave Hollins will step on third, and after the Yankees open with 2 singles, nothing doing. Heading to the bottom of the 4th, still scoreless.
824 changes to the tax code. They've made it official. You could use some help with your taxes this year.
Someone to watch over me.
Ever wish there was just one more seat in first class?
So did we.
TWA introduces Trans World First,
Our new expanded and enhanced first class.
We've added your seat and hundreds more.
60% more seats in all.
So more of you can enjoy all kinds of new first-class perks.
Like freshly baked Mrs. Phil's cookies, Ambassadors Club privileges, and more to come.
Now it's all here with your seat on Trans World First.
From Trans World Airlines.
We want to be your airline.
There are hundreds of lawnmowers to choose from, with a broad range of quality features designed to meet your needs. But the ones that have the edge to do the job right have one feature in common: a powerful, high-performance Briggs & Stratton engine. Make sure your lawnmower is powered by Briggs & Stratton, the power in power equipment.
Welcome back to Anaheim as we are joined here in the bottom of the 4th inning by the chairman and CEO of the Walt Disney Company, Mr. Michael Eisner. And Chris, nice yard here.
Thank you. I did it myself.
Yeah, right.
Cut the grass this morning.
What is this rain? Can't you control that?
Well, it's April Fool's.
Yeah, there you go.
Didn't really happen.
There you go. Really nice festivities, and nice to see Mr. Autry out there.
Yeah, and he made a speech, and we got a hit.
There you go. You see, you sit down, and Cecil Fielder is getting hits against his old squad.
As it should be.
Mm-hmm. This is an exciting year here for the Angels, isn't it? I mean, you have a chance, really some feel that this is your year to get back in the postseason and maybe get going.
I think we really have a good team. I mean, we're healthy, almost, with everybody. And Terry Collins told me a few minutes ago he was really optimistic. I'll talk to him after the game and see what he thinks.
Only 161 left. We'll have some evidence.
Right.
I talked to Gene Budick, the American League president. He said he was very pleased with this ballpark.
I think it proves that you could take a old ballpark and renovate it and get something that really looks new without having to start from scratch.
What was the impetus for all the rocks out there? You put me on the spot, too. I have to nickname this tonight, or can I get back to you?
No, you have to nickname it. Disneyland.
That's pressure.
That's easy. Huh?
That's pressure. Of course, the President of the United States asked me for a nickname on the spot on the air, and I didn't want to try one out fresh on him. Here's Garrett Anderson with a fly to center field, but Bertie Williams is there, and Cecil will go back to first base. just kind of a different feel out there. I mean, that is unique out in left center field.
You think on our old field that would have been a home run?
No.
I don't know. I don't know. And they go, when the Angels hit a homer, showtime, right?
Yeah, that was done by our Disneyland people. That's the only kind of connection we have. It's a real waterfall. It was there. We just excavated it.
Right. It's amazing that you had those charts from the old days to know what's here. But really, if people don't understand, you say the old park. It's still what they call it, infrastructure, and it's kind of built down from the top, and you don't have to spend what a new park would cost from scratch, and you can get it. Well, it looks like it's brand new. It is really, isn't it?
We lost the orange and we put in the green. That's basically.
That I know. Okay. Now you bring.
They had those '60s orange look.
Now that you bring that up, that is well, the orange groves down here. That's all there was once.
Exactly.
Your hockey team is across the street playing tonight, and the Angels had a big night here. This is well, how much? You've lost a lot of seats, but do you think a park like this will draw? What are you looking to draw this year with the Angels?
Well, it's a much more baseball friendly. It's much more comfortable. We have a lot more things for families to do, and there won't be as many empty seats on tough days, and television will look a little bit better.
That's inside the bag by Norberto Martin. Cecil will move over to third base as O'Neill slogs over down the line. Martin with a double with one out.
I'm not moving.
No. Well, you have the, you may, we just work here. You can stay right here. The good luck charm is Norberto Martin as the Angels have 2 runners in scoring position for the catcher, Matt Wahlbeck. We'll talk about some of the things that you've done for the families, or will. There'll be a whole children's area?
There'll be a whole area that has games and batting practice, batting cages, all sorts of electronic games, picnic areas. Kind of a nice place to come out on a California evening and watch baseball. Hopefully the Angels will be competitive.
It will be. Should be. And you may see the first run here of Edison International Field.
That may be bad luck to say that.
Maybe. Well,
no.
On the Swami, remember? Base hit by Matt Wahlbeck. Oh, and it gets by Bernie Williams. 2 runs are home. Wahlbeck will dig for third. The relay from Jeter, not in time. Triple for Wahlbeck, 2-0 Anaheim.
Well, Pettitte has been getting the ball up this inning, and that's what's getting him in trouble. That pitch was up, and he found the gap, and the wet conditions out there kept Bernie Williams from being able to cut the ball off. And Matt Wahlbeck ends up at third with a 2-run triple. Now watch the pitch. Pitch is up. He lines it into left center field. See, Bernie Williams normally would be able to cut that ball off. It just gets past him, and you can see the puddles out there by the time he gets it back in. 2 runs are in, the runner at third in less than 2 outs.
Well, they're hitting at the first pitch here, Joe. I mean, 3 of the 4 batters are swinging at the first pitch by Pettitte. So they're seeing something as the infield in to try and snuff off the 3rd run with the number 9 hitter, Disarcina, up. And now Girardi will go out and talk. So you're really not moving now. You see that?
I'm here. I like the splash effect out in center field.
Now, see, now that was part of nature. That's that
Absolutely.
waterfall that you just found.
It's only there in our side of the inning.
Right. I understand that. Well, you know, when they built the Astrodome, and Joe, you certainly remember this, I think, they used to turn the air conditioners on in center field, blowing in when the opponents were up. When the Astros came up, they turned it off. So you'd be the second to come up with an idea like that.
Did the baseball commissioner have a problem with that?
When he found out about it.
We wouldn't do anything like that.
No, I know. Right, Joe? I mean, that's a true...
No.
Come on now. That's what's rumored.
No, that was just a rumor. Unless they kept it blowing in all the time. The ball never traveled well in the Astrodome.
1-0 pitch on the way to Gary DiSarcina in the dirt. And it's 2-0. Got a lot of young, well, not young players, but your Timmy Salmons and your Jim Edmonds, Garrett Anderson, a little younger than that, who are really the core of this team. And I guess you've looked to try and sign as many of them for as long term as you can to really build with them in this park, haven't you?
Try to create a loyalty, a homebred kind of attitude. Players that want to stay with the organization. I think we've made long-term deals with most of our young stars. Try to create. When I grew up in New York, you wouldn't imagine Mickey Mantle playing for anybody else. So I don't know if that could work today in this kind of world, but we try for it.
Ooh, DiSarcina, that good wood on it, and it was fine. Here's another young player that has been kind of with this team, the shortstop DiSarcina. Actually, Joe, remember he got hurt in that 95 season, and their slide began right then when Seattle caught the Angels.
Somebody missed something there. Now watch, DiSarcina takes off from third base with, I don't understand what was going on here. He took off from third base. Wallback took off from third, and DiSarcina swung the bat. So someone missed the sign there, because that was not designed to be a hit and run.
Foul ball, foul ball. Wallback had to scurry back to the base, make sure when hit by it, just foul. And Larry Boa is going to give Chuck Merriweather an earful.
Looks fair to me.
Well, the point is the ball doesn't have to hit in fair territory. If it travels over any corner of the bag or any part of the bag, it's a fair ball. We're not going to be able to tell from here. It looks like it's very close.
Looks foul, though.
Very close.
Sound like Chuck didn't have a good view of it. I mean, he was right there. Of course, Larry Boa had the same view, and you know which way he thought about it.
They told me we made such a really nice umpire's dressing room, too. Didn't seem to work.
You got to pick your spots.
I know.
They don't want to do it yet. Oh, that's a fair ball. There's a spot pick. Wallback will score. DiSarcina is into second with a double, and the Angels have hung a 3 spot on Andy Pettitte. Single, double, triple, double this inning.
Well, major league hitters are supposed to make adjustments as the game goes along, and Pettitte had one pattern that he was staying in. That's hard sliders and cut fastballs inside. And he tried it again here with DiSarcina, and he pulls it. See the target inside? Slider. It did not get in, and he pulls it down the third baseline. DiSarcina drives in the run. He ends up at second base. But hitters are supposed to make adjustments. That's why pitchers have to change their pattern the second time through the order.
It'll bring up Darren Erstad, and here's a young man who you signed up for some years after a nice season with the Angels last year.
Absolutely.
Been a great kid. Went back to North Dakota to help during the floods last year, the horrible floods up there with the Mississippi flooded, and felt that was what he was supposed to do, and did so.
This whole team is like really come together in that way. They're really positive people. They really enjoy what they're doing. Feels like a new world out there for me.
Who was your team growing up, the Yankees?